Hello everyone, this is once again Arden, and we're here for another episode of Truck Talk, my thoughts from the road. And right now I want to talk about tools. And cheap versus expensive tools. We all know those people that they're just cheap. They buy cheap tools, they don't care. As long as it's cheap, it's for them. My general philosophy is buy the cheapest tool you can with the highest quality that you need. So say you're like me, you're a traveling mechanic. You'll probably have two sets of tools for work. One set is your in-shop tools, and usually you have a toolbox, nice big toolbox with all your big tools that stays at your shop, or at least that's what I have. Then you have a second set of tools dedicated for when you're on the road. For me, I have to fly a lot of times, so my box is limited to one rigid pack-out box. It's the bigger one, and I have put all of my tools in that box. So what I've done is I've gone through, and every tool has at least two purposes. And I can make do with the tools that I have, and I'm not afraid to modify the tools in that box. So I've gone through and I've looked at what is the quality of tools that I can get, that if I lose them or if I leave them on a piece of equipment, I may never see that piece of equipment again, or I might not see it for 6 months or a year. So what am I willing to pay for a tool that I'm potentially gonna lose and I won't be able to find again? So am I going to buy Snap-on tools or Matco tools for all of my stuff that I'm heading out of town with? No. I'm going to look for more of your tools that you would get from, say, Home Depot, Lowe's, or Amazon. I typically try to spend for a full socket set of metric standard 8mm to 19 quarter to 3/4, about $50. $50 to $75 is what I found is the sweet spot. It's not so cheap that it's garbage, but it's not so expensive that when I lose a tool, or when I break the tools, or when I weld them to a battery, it has happened, I'm not worried about it. I order another set of tools, I reorder it, not a big deal. I don't need to worry about a warranty, because typically I lose them before I warranty it, before I break them. And that's where I'm at. I do carry impact sockets and an impact gun. My impact gun is expensive. It's a $300 gun. But if I lose it, you pony up. I'm not willing to pay for a cheap gun that won't even do the job. I'm just not willing to pay that. Some people will. I won't. And that's just me. My impact sockets, best ones I've found, Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight 1/2-inch impacts has all the sizes that I need for majority of what I'm doing. They work great as a punch. They do a really good job punching bearings out. That's where the two uses come in. I haven't broke one yet, but when I do, I'll go down and I'll buy another set for $30. That's just what I do. I'm not willing to pay $300-400 for Snap-on quality and have to warranty them more often, because I've seen that happen, and they just don't work as well. Or you lose them, or you're scared to cut them up. You're scared to make them work, because nobody works in a perfect scenario. When you're out when you're out doing what I do, you're not working in ideal conditions. You don't have all the tools you need, so you find the balance. I like mid-range tools for my out-of-town stuff. Now, my at-shop tool set is more expensive. I have more of your mid to high-end tools. I have some Snap-ons, some Matcos, some Cornwells. You know, your higher-end tools that I'm not going to lose as often. If I do, I'm seeing that equipment more often. So if I forget it on a piece of equipment, I can usually go out and find it. A lot of my at-home stuff I treat just like I do my work stuff. I buy mid-grade. I've been liking Tekton lately, but they've been increasing their prices a lot. And I don't think their quality's gone up that much. They've gone up a lot over the last 20 years. I've had some of their really old stuff, which didn't hold up at all. And then 5-6 years ago, I got some of their stuff, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed that stuff. So it really depends on what you're willing to do and what you prefer. I've had the old Craftsman. I really liked it. Wasn't a fan of the wrenches because of the shape of them. They have sharp edges and they have sharp corners. Whereas you go to other companies, they have more rounded edges, a little bit more comfortable, but personal preference. So it really depends on what you like and how much money you're willing to spend. Because you can buy cheap tools that will last quite a while, and depending on how often you use it. I've had stuff that was really cheap, lasted years. Then I've also had stuff that I spent a lot of money on. Didn't last very long at all. I've had stuff that I didn't spend much money on, broke first time I used it. It all depends on what you're willing to pay. The biggest thing that I've found overall is a warranty. If a company's willing to put a lifetime warranty on something, then either A, they know it's really cheap and you're going to need that, or they're willing to stand behind their product and get stuff done, fix with their problems. I've noticed with Snap-on lately, it's not good. A lot of their tools aren't. A lot of their tools are being made overseas, and they're deceptive about it. They're not, unless it specifically is stamped on the tool, USA, then it's not made in the United States. It's made in China, Taiwan, Mexico. And you don't know where it's from. Now, that surprised me when I found that out. Bought some Snap-on tools and it broke. It was a Snap-on ratchet. First time I put it on a bolt, busted the teeth off, sheared the teeth. Like, all right, take it onto the Snap-on truck. Warranties it out the next week. Got a brand new ratchet. Just took them out again. And then I started looking at it and I was like, what's wrong with this thing? And we pulled it apart. We were looking at it, and some of the internal parts were made in China. They were made in China, and they were made cheaply. And I don't know if this was a coincidence or not, but they were the same parts that was in my Pittsburgh ratchet, down to the markings they had on the internals. Could be a problem. But then we found one of his ratchets that was stamped USA, took that apart, and there was a noticeable difference. The finish was better. Everything was better. So you got to be careful with, even when you're buying premium tools, that you're getting a premium product. But a good warranty process is paramount. You buy Craftsman nowadays, you oftentimes have to have the receipt, and you have to find a place that will warranty that product. For instance, Sears will not warranty all of your older Snap-on or older Craftsman that you don't have a receipt for. Same thing with Ace Hardware. If you don't have a receipt for Ace Hardware for that tool, they won't warranty it. So they give you a number that you have to call, and then the Craftsman people on the phone will decide whether it's worth it warranting or not, and then you have to send it in to them for them to send you a new tool. At that point, you're out in 3 weeks, 2 weeks usually, which that's a long time if you use your tools for a living. Whereas Snap-on, or even more so your local tool brands, you take it into your store, say, hey, say you break a Husky wrench, take it into Home Depot, hey, this thing broke. I need a new wrench, need a new ratchet. They say, all right, go on back, grab another one. It's that simple. Harbor Freight's a great example of that. My ratchet I take out of town with me every week, it's a Harbor Freight ratchet. I break one every year. It happens. But I'm not easy on it. I put a cheater pipe on it, and I'll put 300, 400 pounds on the end of that cheater pipe. So, am I surprised when it breaks? No. Honestly, surprised it took that much to break it. I've bent the shafts in half. It happens. Teeth held up fine, so I swapped the heads out. It worked. But at that price point, you're paying $20 for a ratchet compared to $200. So when you break the $20 ratchet, you don't mind. Or when you lose a $20 ratchet, not a big deal. So that's the type of thing that I look for. Is I look for good quality at a reasonable price and a warranty system that is easy. Some of these newer companies like Tekton and I think DeWalt does this, and maybe Gear Wrench, you take a picture of the broken tool and you email the company, you go onto their website, you submit the broken tool picture, and they send you out a new one. No questions asked. And if they do ask questions, they're trying to figure out how you broke it so that they can improve the product. I like that. So the main thing is, make sure you're buying good quality tools at a price that you can afford. Don't go out and put yourself in a ton of debt because you think you need tools. You don't need that expensive of tools. If you're working on your vehicle at home, honestly, Harbor Freight, you can get away with Harbor Freight for a long time. First couple of years I was working on cars, I had a crescent wrench and a couple of sockets, and that's what I used. If I needed anything more than that, I'd go borrow a vehicle or get on my bike and I'd ride down to Harbor Freight and buy just the tool I needed. And that's what you have to do sometimes. But you don't have to go broke, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. Spend what you need to get the quality of tools that you feel that you need, and don't be pressured into getting stuff that you don't need. You don't need to buy expensive tools if you don't need them. So, with that, be safe, have fun, buy what you need, not what you want, and enjoy your life. Get out there, fix something, have fun.